So here's something that I know to be true. What I know to be true is the way people view leaders is not the real way in which leaders are. It's kind of like before I became a father, I had an idea of what it was like to be a father. And so I became the father, first of all, of a son. And lots of moms I know say sons are easier than daughters. Certainly, when my daughter came along, my worry increased a lot more than when I had my son. I worried about my son about other reasons, but I worried about my daughter a lot. What I realized was, what I thought it was to be a father was really not what it was like at all. You had kind of this, image of your children kind of walking in and them sitting at your feet and you saying, wise things to them, and they looked up and just soaked it all and said, "Yes, Daddy, you're so wise. Oh, Papa, tell me words of wisdom." Then I realized that's not what being a father's like at all. It's more like, how can you tell me to do that? That was my children. So leadership, whether you're a leader in your family, you're a leader in the church, you're a shepherd in the church, whether you would love to be a leader someday in some way in the life of the church, leadership isn't always what people think it is. And so we're trying to take an in-depth look, because I want lots of leaders to rise out of this church, to be leaders in small groups and in large groups, and leaders in the larger church, leaders in the larger church around the world as well. And so we have been talking about it. So I'm going to invite you to take the brochure, and I want you actually to go over to page 6 and point G. So as you're finding your way there, I've already said the leader's to be above reproach. He's to have complete dedication to their spouse, to be balanced, to establish priorities, to have a good reputation. And we stopped last week by saying that leader needs to like people. So 1 Timothy 3:3 and Titus 1:8 say something interesting about if you're going to be a leader. This is what it says, and it's almost identical in both of these two letters of Paul. It says, "Not given to drunkenness." Actually, in both places, it's identical. Not given to drunkenness. So, what does a leader need to be under G? Living in victory from addictive life patterns and addictions. So addictions are things that grab us, hold us, and control us. Drug addiction, of course, is one of the things today that we're so terrified about. I'm terrified for you. It's terrifying for older people. A lot of people who are drug addicted are not just teenagers or 20-somethings. People who are drug addicted are older adults who started out with a prescription medicine, maybe for an injury they had to a leg or foot or hip or something, and then that medication became something they couldn't live without, and now they become addicted to what started out to be something helpful in their lives. So addiction, whether it be drug addiction, whether it be addiction to alcohol, whether it be addiction to pornography, whether it be addiction to you could be addicted to work. There could be lots of addictions in life, but addiction is something that drives your life. It becomes the engine that controls everything else. So what I've come to realize, if the engine is not good, nothing else really works very well. The wheels on your car can't go if the engine's blown up. Or if a friend of ours, there's a diesel engine, and a diesel engine takes kind of basically like kerosene, and then there's a gas engine. A friend of ours had a brand new diesel truck. We'd been hoping to get it for years and years and planned to get this beautiful diesel truck. Now, he drove the truck almost exclusively himself, but one day, a friend called his spouse and needed to go to the hospital. So what do you do if your friend calls you? I need to go to the hospital, and she didn't have a way to get there. So my understanding is she took her husband's diesel truck, which she hadn't driven, and more importantly, had never filled the tank up with diesel. So she pulled into the gas station, and she filled the diesel truck up with regular gas. Now, a diesel truck can't take regular gas. But she put it in, the truck went a few feet, and eventually it stopped. Now, when I met with her and her husband, they were telling us the story. They're laughing and they're laughing and they're laughing. I said, you guys seem awful kind of light about this thing. And I think the husband made some comment that he felt, well, I'm laughing on the outside, but I'm crying on the inside. So addiction is that engine that runs